Hi everyone, Professor Christie here. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to find credible sources for your speeches. Having credible sources is a great way to establish ethos as a speaker. We're going to use a couple really useful tools that I have links for in the description. One is from the news literacy website, Checkology. Great tool for kind of having a checklist to know what is a good source and what isn't. Another is the professional fact-checking website Snopes. We're going to do a case study in this lesson on the 2026 arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. It was all over social media in January of 2026, and there were sources that were accurate, and then there were sources that were not accurate, and we're going to analyze and figure out which ones would have been okay to use as a source for speech. The first step in building a great speech is weeding out the noise. When we look at information, especially on social media, we need to decide, is this true or false content? Always cross-reference. So in this TikTok post from January 2026, it was claiming that in Venezuela, spontaneous celebrations erupted after Maduro's arrest. Those celebrations were real, but this actual post here did not happen in Venezuela. So the location that the poster said it was occurring in was false. We often see on social media maybe what we see as clickbait tactics, things that are designed to shock, overpromise, that will make things go viral. We want to be very cautious about immediately choosing a viral post as a source for a speech. Really what we're looking for credible sources for speeches are things that have a sense of balance. We want sources that acknowledge multiple perspectives. BBC, Fortune, any source that we would see on a more even social media news channel would be something that would be better to use. So if this was a BBC TikTok post showing this, it would be probably okay to use. You wouldn't need to worry so much. Where we see problems with using social media as credible sources is largely when we take the information from individual accounts and not reputable organizations. As a speaker, you have a responsibility to verify media that you use. First, you want to be able to identify if it was manipulated. That's often not easy, and that's where websites like Snopes is incredibly helpful. In this case, with the video from TikTok, Snopes did what was called lateral reading, which is a great strategy for double-checking sources. Lateral reading is simply opening up a new browser and trying to double-check the story. Did other people post on it? Can you verify images using Google Maps? Snopes used Google Maps to identify several components we see in this video, such as the number on the gas station. We can see back here a house. We can also see, if people look very closely, what looks like to be maybe a restaurant. My eyesight isn't that good, but the Snopes reporter saw those sorts of things. And they started to decide, okay, is there something here that using lateral reading I could go to Google Maps and verify this location? And they were able to. They went to Google Maps and were able to see that they could find all of this information if they reverse the image in Doral, Florida, not Venezuela. You always want to investigate the source's intent. This came from a person who is known on TikTok as Little Venezuela in Miami. That alone would be a clue when the poster is from Miami and has that as part of their profile. It was a celebration of the exile community there. And whether it was the intent of the TikTok creator to deceive or not is not the point. The fact is, it had gone viral with people assuming the celebration took place in Venezuela, not in the United States, by Venezuelan expats. While sources online are sometimes just taken out of context and are not intentionally trying to deceive you, more and more we are seeing content that is maliciously deceptive, such as this other example of Venezuelan celebrations that Snopes found that is AI generated. When we watch the video, there's several elements that kind of illustrate the fact that the video is AI. So if you pause, and I'll go back here and look in the background, the fuzzy people, the lack of detail, those are the sorts of things that begin to clue you in. But those are things that we would easily miss, which is why these professional verification websites such as Snopes is incredibly helpful. We always want to find out the who and the why behind any source we use. Always check the accounts as well. Any sort of account that you're looking at for social media, if there's not a lot of details about that account, that's another warning sign that we probably don't want to use it as a source for our speeches. That will definitely affect our ethos as a speaker. As we wrap up, remember what we learned about the growth mindset. No one starts off as a great researcher. This is a skill that we learn. Don't take the first page of your search results, but if you mess up and pick a source that is incredible, don't see that as a failure on yourself. See that as an opportunity to learn and to grow as a researcher. The more you do this, the better you'll get at finding sources that are credible.